Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's iStaging talk, How to Socialize in the Metaverse. I'm your host, Stefan, and I'm here today with my colleague, Phoebe, who you can speak with via the chat on the right-hand side of your screen. Please let her know if the audio is okay, if you can hear me, and if the video is good. And throughout today's webinar, you can ask her any questions, and she'll make sure that they'll get to me at the end of today's talk. So that we can answer them during the live Q&A. So today, how to socialize in the metaverse. Over the past couple months, half year, metaverse has been a really popular word. The technologies that make up the virtual world, essentially. And with that, also the word avatars and socializing has been really popular. And that's what I want to talk to you about today, because we have launched the possibility to use social functions and avatars in our platform, and more specifically, our METAmakeR. Now, if you're not very familiar with what the METAmakeR actually does, it actually empowers you to create virtual scenes and virtual environments, really easily yourself, and it could be any type of virtual environment. Now, I'm not going to talk about how to build that virtual environment today. We've done webinars on that not too long ago. So if you want to get a quick reminder, you can go to our YouTube channel, and there are various iStaging talks there that you could watch. But today I want to show you how to basically activate avatars and how you can basically socialize in the scenes that you've actually built with our platform. Now, when we talk about avatars, one of the things that people sometimes maybe seem to forget, or at least it's important to remember, is the fact that just having an avatar itself, or a visual representation, a virtual representation, doesn't make much sense unless you can actually communicate, right? The reason why you would want to have a digital or a virtual presence is so that you can actually make a connection and communicate with someone else in the same space. And that visual representation, the avatar, helps you with that. It makes you feel like you're not alone in that virtual environment, in that virtual space. But ultimately, the connection, how do I, besides seeing someone else there, how can I then walk up to them and maybe communicate or chat with them in any way? And that's what today's talk is all about. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to share my screen in a minute, and walk you through how to basically activate it and what you can do. And I will ask my colleague Phoebe to join me in the same scene so that you can actually see what we can do and what can be done. If you're one-on-one, but even if you're in a group of 10, 15, or even more people than that. So yeah, I'm gonna share my screen. So give me a second. Now, while I'm sharing my screen, I will not be able to see the chat. All right, I think you should be able to see my screen right now. I'll be looking to my right every once in a while and making sure with Phoebe that you can still hear and see me. And in case anything goes wrong, we can stop and make sure to fix that so you don't miss anything. Okay, so if you actually have a subscription to the METAmakeR, you're familiar with this particular editor. If not, then this is actually what the METAmakeR editor looks like. And you can actually here, once you begin, you can create a scene and start creating your virtual environment with a one of the templates that we've got. And we have now Market Space, which is our platform where you can actually sell and buy templates that you might need in any one of our platforms. And now specifically the METAmakeR. Then once you've built a scene, under my scenes, you would see all of the environments that you've actually built. So I already have quite a few in my account, and we're going to use the NFT gallery here today to showcase the avatar and social functionality. So once you've built your scene, and by the way, one thing that I wanted to mention, in terms of the metaverse, last week we actually posted a blog post, our Metaverse Guide to Business, with a few simple steps on how to get started as a business with, the metaverse and in the digital world. Maybe Phoebe can send out a blog post, a little bit later on in the webinar. And if you haven't actually read that yet, I would recommend that you do so. because it sort of simplifies the whole idea of the metaverse and how to get started, because I can imagine that it might be quite overwhelming and a bit confusing at times. But with most things, if you break it down into smaller steps, then it's quite digestible. So a good tip in terms of metaverse content. Okay, so I have my scene here in the METAmakeR, and you can actually make specific changes to each scene related to whether or not you want to activate avatars or social functionalities per scene. All right, so each one could be different in your account. And what you want to do is go to the three dots here for the particular scene that you want to activate things for, and then go to settings. All right, and then we go to the settings for this particular virtual environment. And we then want to go to scene settings in the left menu. And then there are a couple of tabs, and I want to just go to chat room, meeting, and viewing mode. All right, chat room, important. When the chat room feature is on, people can actually chat with each other via text and audio. So this is also important when you're actually using avatars. So that's the first thing that we want to do. We want to activate the chat room, all right, for this particular scene. Then, in terms of meeting, all right, you can also, and this specifically goes for the creator of the scene, you can allow people to actually book a meeting with you, or leave a message specifically for you. And I want to do that as well, and I'll show you where that actually shows up in the actual environment. So we want to activate the meeting functionality too. And actually, when a meeting is created, so you've both parties have decided, yes, we want to meet, we confirm the meeting, a Skype link is automatically sent out to both parties. So you can use Skype, but if you want to use Zoom or any other conference software, feel free to do so. But just to help you out, automatically a Skype meeting link is created. Okay, and now the most important one, which is the viewing mode and the avatar mode. Now, in the METAmakeR, and this is one of the key differences of the METAmakeR, there are different viewing modes for anyone entering. So because we're in an actual real 3D environment, all right, you can either use hotspot mode or freeform mode. Now, and I'm going to show you both options. Hotspot basically just means that I go from point A to point B to point C, back to point A. And freeform allows you to use the keys on your keyboard to basically walk anywhere you'd like. And I'll show you both ways, and I'll start with hotspot first. And then, here, avatar mode at the bottom, we want to activate the avatar mode for this particular scene. And we would call this, in this case, what's been launched is the headshot avatar. All right, so we got all of our settings done, and we want to go back to, automatically it's been saved, and we want to go back to the scene. And we're going to click on, just let it load for a second. I hope everything is still good. Yep. And we're going to click on preview and open our gallery. All right. Okay, good. Now, once you've actually done opened your gallery, this little pop-up window will show up, which goes for everyone or anyone that is actually entering the space. And it will ask you to enter your name. All right. And you can choose a little animated avatar icon here, or you can upload your own image. And that's what I'm going to do, because it is recommended when I actually see other people, if I can actually see who I'm talking to instead of just an animated image. That's a lot, it feels a lot more real, feels a lot better. So I'm going to upload my own image. All right. And then you can see that we can actually enter the space. All right, good. Now we're basically in our gallery, and you can see that I'm here at the bottom with this little icon. Now I will ask Phoebe to actually join me in this space as well. Now there might be a little bit of delay, guys, because we're sharing screen and using a webinar software. So just give it a couple of seconds to load. Now I want to go to the main area here. And hopefully I will be able to see Phoebe then, and then you can actually see the avatars. There you go. So now I'm actually walking through the gallery here, and probably you've noticed already that when you're moving, even though I go to different hotspots, here the hotspots you can see with those little circles here on the floor, but it still feels like I'm actually moving through this space instead of zooming in and zooming out. And now you can see that here, as this little lollipop avatar, essentially, we can see that Phoebe is in the same space as me and her image as well. So, you know, let me just move here. Here we go. And you can see that Phoebe is here. Oh, she may have moved somewhere accidentally. Oh, here she is. Okay, very good. Yeah, great. Now, a couple of things. Oh, all right. So hopefully she can stay still for a couple minutes. Just kidding. All right. Now there are a couple things here. First of all, we now know that, you know, we're doing this live, so that Phoebe is here at the same time in the same space as me. Now the question is, how can I now communicate with her? And there are a couple things with the avatar here at the bottom, a functionality. So you can obviously open up your microphone and the sound. I won't do that because we're doing a webinar, you know, right now. But once you do that, I'm actually able to talk to Phoebe directly using the audio on my computer. All right, and I can hear what she's saying, so we can basically talk to each other that way. Now, anyone in the space that is there will be able to hear this. So it's basically sort of a group audio. It's not a private chat in this case, but you'll be able to communicate in that way. And here with this little button, you'll be able to see who is actually in the gallery at this very moment. Now there are only 2 people, it's me and Phoebe, but you know, there could be a list of 10 or 20 or 100 people there that you can see who's actually there. And right now, oh, let me just go here. And then here on the left side, we have a chat, a public chat room. So you can see that Phoebe already messaged here. Hi there. We can chat with each other, and this is a public chat room as well. So anyone in the space that types anything in the chat will be able to see this. So whether you use the audio or the chat, all right, this is all public. Now, obviously, your next question is, how about if I want to communicate or connect with someone privately? Well, this will happen with a private chat actually in the next few days already. So actually towards the end of this week and maybe early next week, we will launch the possibility to actually connect with someone privately through a private chat. So the way that that's most likely going to work is you're going to click on, you know, who's here in the showroom, and then select the person that you want to chat with, and then you can exchange private chats and chat directly with them. All right, so that's how the avatar functionality actually works. And you know, the visual representation of someone actually being there, including the picture, helps a lot in making you feel like you're there. You know, you're not alone there. And I'm not just using a messaging app. And obviously, you know, it's all about the environment where we are right now, the gallery here. You know, and this could be anything, right? This is a gallery, but it could be a museum or a virtual showroom, a car showroom, or you know, a retail store. You're selling, you know, a clothing or anything you're looking to build. That's we'll actually talk about that in a few weeks with a new series. Okay, then a couple things before I go to the other way of moving in this space is here. If I go to contact, you're actually able to book a meeting with the host of this space. In this case, that would be me, but anyone that created the space, by clicking on book a meeting, and automatically that will send a message to the creator of the space, and you can then, you know, it will be confirmed. As I said earlier, a Skype link will be sent out, but you can connect in any way that you'd like. So if you're not there live, you know, connecting with someone with avatars, you can do so by simply booking a meeting, or leaving a direct message to someone here as well. So that's another way of actually connecting with someone. Okay, now I'm going to close this up, and I want to go back to settings of our gallery, and then I want to go to Freeform, the Freeform movement, and it's quite a different experience, and I want to show you what that looks like, because it is pretty cool. All right, so we're going to go back to scene settings and then viewing mode. We'll click on Freeform instead of hotspot. Avatar mode is still activated. All right, and now we can go back to our scene. And I'll also ask Phoebe to join me again. All right, we'll click on preview to open the gallery. Now I'll have to enter my name again. And all right, so here we go. I'll just enter my name and quickly upload my picture, which makes for a better experience. Very good. We can enter. And what you now see, all right, we're in the same space. But the first thing that you'll see is that actually this space right now, even though all of the tags and everything and the videos and all of the stuff and the logos are still there, it's not actually, the space is not rendered. And that's the difference between using the hotspot mode and the actual free form mode. But I'm now actually capable of, as you can see, move freely through this space. And I hope that on your screen you can actually see that. Here you go. So I can essentially move anywhere I want to go now instead of using the hotspots. All right. But the only drawback in this case is that, you know, it will basically not be a rendered space, so maybe not look as real depending on the template that you're using. It's a little bit more animated in this case. Now you can actually see, and I hope you can see that on your screen, that Phoebe, that Phoebe is already moving sort of towards me. So Phoebe, if you could move back a little bit and then, where you were and then come back to me. Yeah, so you can see that Phoebe essentially is going, anywhere she wants, and I can do the same thing, right? I can move towards her, left and right. So we're not, restricted by the hotspots that are placed in the virtual scene, in the environment. You can essentially walk anywhere you want with your little avatar. And that's the difference between hotspot mode and freeform viewing mode. All right. So actually something really, really interesting and really cool. And it's totally up to you whichever one you'd like to use. Now, if you use this functionality, it's maybe easier to find other people, because otherwise, you're specifically on, with hotspots, avatars are specifically on hotspots, and here, an avatar could be anywhere in the space, literally anywhere. So it may be a little bit easier when you're using avatars. Regardless of if you use the avatar functionality, you can still use hotspot or freeform mode, even if you're not activating this. Now, a couple of things. Why could this be useful, right? Why would I want to use avatars? Now, I can imagine in a gallery as this one, or a museum, there are live guided tours. Now, when I'm using avatars, obviously it's only useful if there are other people in the same space at the same time, right? If I'm there alone, there's not much point to it. So the key is sort of that you have on specific days or specific times that people are going to be there. So if you, for example, in a gallery, have an appointment, or you have a group of people that you're going to guide through your virtual gallery or virtual museum at 10 in the morning or at 4 p.m. in the afternoon, that 5 or 10 avatars or 10 people are going to be in that space at that particular time. It would make a whole lot of sense to use avatars so that you can see each other and actually talk to each other, right? Also with the audio. Now, if I'm doing a hybrid event or a virtual event or a conference, right, or a presentation that lasts for an hour, or presentations or a meeting that is or a networking event, for an afternoon. Again, that is a time scheduled event, and people can go there and know that there is stuff going on in the environment at that particular time. So that's sort of what you should be thinking about when you're using avatars. Obviously, if I'm building a virtual showroom for people to shop, for example, for products that I'm selling, right? Avatars could be useful, but most likely at the moment, there's not really going to be a virtual store clerk there all the time, which probably is also not possible with global time differences. So then, avatars might not add that much to the experience. But if you have specific time scheduled events, this could be really, really exciting and really, really beneficial. So it's really up to you and what it is that you're trying to create. But at least now what can be done and what it essentially looks like and how to activate it in your METAmakeR account once you've built your scene. Okay. Now, I realize that maybe I may have gone a little bit fast in the past couple minutes, but again, this webinar is recorded, so you can always watch back and always reach out to us. So I'm going to go and exit here and stop sharing my screen. All right, very good. Cool. So now, one other thing that I want to mention because this is in the METAmakeR, right? You can go to our website and then to go to pricing and then METAmakeR, you'll be able to see the different plans. We have a couple of different plans available for the METAmakeR. The basic plan allows you to get started for just $20 a month. All right, you can build an incredible scene, but the avatar functionality and the social functionalities that I showed you today are actually available in the professional plan, which is $129 a month. So that's something to keep in mind. All right. If you want to use these avatars, you're going to need the professional METAmakeR business or METAmakeR subscription. Okay, very good. Now, I think that's probably about it for today. I hope that this gave you a decent insight about what avatars can actually do and how it can add to the experience that you're building in your environment. Do you have any questions? We've sort of come to the end of today's talk and come to the point of the live Q&A. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask them right now. Now, if you don't, then I hope that it all was very clear. And hopefully, we'll see you in a couple of weeks and we'll announce something really, really exciting. We'll have a new webinar series where we're going to go into specific industries and what kind of experiences you can build for those industries and which of our platforms are most beneficial for you. So we have the VR Maker, we have the METAmakeR, we have the AR Maker, we have Market Space, and there'll be a new solution specifically for real estate in a couple of weeks' time. So really exciting stuff going on that will happen very, very soon, and stay tuned for that because you'll receive an invitation to join all of those in a few weeks. If there are I don't see any questions, so yeah, that makes Phoebe's job easy today, and my job as well. Then I hope that everything was very clear and that you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us today, and I hope that it was worth it, that you have seen some good stuff today. And if you want to try and build an environment yourself, there is a free trial for the METAmakeR that you can sign up with for 30 days, and you can try stuff out. And I would one of the things that we know is sometimes it's not entirely sure. You're not really sure how to use or benefit from the various platforms that we currently offer. And that's what also this new series is going to be about, where we specifically dive into specific, our industries and help you really visualize what can be done, because the platforms are incredibly versatile. Can we also chat with video in the METAmakeR? I see Camille just asked a question. At the moment, no, not yet. There's no video yet. So there's just audio and chat. There's no video in the METAmakeR at the moment. But it is something that I'll indicate to our R&D team, to our tech team, and discuss what can be done with that. Yes, so good question. Yeah, but right now it's audio and chat basically. Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Have a wonderful week, and I hope to see you at the next one very, very soon. If you still have any questions, feel free to, as Phoebe indicated, feel free to reach out to us via hello@iStaging.com. Thank you so much, and we'll see you guys soon. Cheers.